Hello, everybody. I'm Simon Preston, and welcome back to Reggae Boys Commentary. This is your platform where we'll come together to discuss everything in relation to Jamaican football. This is your hub for everything Jamaican football related. It's Tuesday, April 30, 2024. It's amazing how time goes by so quickly, isn't it? 2024. And, when you think about the years in the past, it feels like, it was just yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So time just goes by so rapidly, honestly. But what we're going to do in this video is just provide some updates for you guys so that you guys are up to speed with everything that is taking place at this point in time. All right. So, first thing first, as you can see by the title of this video, we're going to touch on this. And I know many people might be alarmed and say, huh, what does this mean? And, the impact that it could mean on Jamaica as well. So, those are some of the things that we're going to discuss right now. So, yes. The United States and Mexico, they have withdrawn their bid in terms of the hosting of the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. And what is the reason for it? Well, I'm going to read the article for you guys so that we can be able to look at that together and look at, the reasoning and go through that process together. All right. So that is what we're going to do right now as we speak. And what impact as well does it have on Jamaica? So let's look at that together, shall we? So the US and Mexico have withdrawn their bid for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup, and they instead focus on the bid for the 2031 World Cup. So they've joined South Africa now in the bidding for the 2031 tournament. It comes less than 3 weeks before the hosts were to be chosen at a FIFA Congress in Bangkok on May 17. So May 17, we will know who will host the 2027 edition of the Women's World Cup. The remaining bids are from Brazil and a joint one from Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands. The US Soccer and Mexican Football Federations said the 2031 bid will call for equal investment as the men's tournament in a historic first. And this was a statement from the US and Mexican soccer federations. The revised bid will allow US soccer to build on the learnings and success of the 2026 World Cup, better support our host cities, expand our partnerships and media deals, and further engage with our fans so we can host a record-breaking tournament in 2031, the federations said in a statement. The US, Mexico, and Canada are hosting the Men's World Cup in 2026. We are fully aware about that. Hosting a World Cup tournament is a huge undertaking, and having additional time to prepare allows us to maximize its impact across the globe, said US Soccer President Cindy Parlow Cohn. So, first thing first, in relation to this, the 2027 Women's World Cup, right? World Cup qualifying commences next year for that. Originally in the bidding, we had South Africa, we had the US and Mexico bid, we have Brazil, and now we have Germany, the Netherlands, and Belgium. So right now, there's only two bids available for the next Women's World Cup. One is a bid from Brazil, and the other would be a bid for Belgium, Germany, and the Netherlands. All right. So initially, my reaction to this, honestly, a little disappointed, and I'll explain why. Because I think it would have been so nice that, the world would have been centered on the Western Hemisphere, or some people would have said the New World, based on the events that are to come. And let me explain. The Copa America this summer, the United States. Next year, the Gold Cup and also the FIFA Club World Cup in the United States. The World Cup, USA, Mexico, Canada. Let's say the Women's World Cup was in United States and Mexico. And then 2028, the Olympic Games in LA. And then after that, the Rugby World Cup for men and women, 2031 and 2033. So over the next 9 years, seven of those 9 years, the tournaments on the international stage would be centered on this part of the world. And I think that would have been, fantastic, especially for Jamaicans as well, bearing in mind the proximity and how close we are to certain things and that aspect of things. But to focus on 2031, I understand that, and I'm in full agreement with what was said in the statement, because after the 2026 World Cup, let's say the United States and Mexico, get the tournament for 2031, you have 5 solid years, as the statement says, to plan out, better support our host cities, expand our partnerships and media deals, and further engage with our fans so that we can host a record-breaking tournament in 2031. Because look at this, folks, the 2026 tournament, after the tournament, the US and Mexico bid can say, okay, well, this worked. and perhaps we could try this. Or, okay, we recognized this trend in Seattle, or recognized this trend in Monterrey or in Mexico City. So this is something we can implement for the Women's World Cup in 2031. So it's great because it's not a 1-year turnaround. It's now a 5-year period to plan things in place. So I can understand that completely. 100%. And still, in the grand scheme of things, it's an exciting time frame. And I'll repeat that again, because you have a situation now of the Copa America this summer, the FIFA Club World Cup next year, the World Cup in 2026. 2027, you're going to have the Gold Cup within the United States as well. 2028, you have the Olympic Games. So already, over the next 5 years, it's going to be constant activity. And of course, 2031, you potentially a Women's World Cup in USA and Mexico, and of course the Rugby World Cup for men and women in 2031 and 2033 in the United States. So it's still an exciting time frame when you bear in mind these international sporting events that will be coming to the shores, especially in the United States and by extension in the North American region as well. So it's still an exciting time frame. And you know why I would say this is also a positive for Jamaica as well? Let me explain. Because let's say the United States and Mexico were to host the 2027 tournament. Remember, those two spots would be taken away from CONCACAF, meaning that they would have the two spots. So remember, CONCACAF right now, 4 spots in the Women's World Cup and 2 intercontinental playoff berths. You take away US and Mexico, and now you're in a situation where you have 2 automatic spots and 2 intercontinental playoff berths, right? But with USA and Mexico pulling out of the 2027 race, it means that the United States and Mexico will compete in World Cup qualifying, and the 2027 tournament will be a 32-team event. That is a fact. And we know for sure that the slot allocation should remain as is. 4 spots for CONCACAF, 4 automatic spots, and 2 intercontinental player berths. So the United States, Canada, Mexico, Costa Rica, Jamaica, Haiti, Panama. You'd said those 7 teams essentially would be fighting for 4 automatic tickets and 2 intercontinental playoff berths. How did the last World Cup qualifying cycle go? Well, we know the United States, Mexico, Jamaica, Costa Rica took the 4 automatic spots. And in relation to the intercontinental playoff berths, it was Haiti and it was Panama that took the intercontinental playoff berths, right? So yeah, Mexico didn't qualify at all. In fact, it's been a while since Mexico has qualified for a World Cup. You know what I'm saying? So at least, you could say, okay, with the US and Mexico not hosting the 2027 tournament, we'll have our full complement of slot allocation. And in terms of how CONCACAF teams did at the last World Cup, the United States and Jamaica rather were the only teams that made it to the round of 16. Canada, Costa Rica, Haiti, Panama, they were in the group stages. Okay, so 2 out of 6 teams, 1/3 of CONCACAF teams went to the round of 16. That's decent. Okay, so that's how it is. FIFA, they are yet to announce the slot allocation for the different confederations, but certainly something that we should be building towards. It's going to be a 32-team World Cup as well, and so will the 2031 tournament. It will also be a 32-team event. When will the Women's World Cup expand from 32 teams to 48 teams? Not yet. Long-term future, I do expect it to be the same. I feel like in the long term, we can expect a scenario where a men's and a women's World Cup are 64 teams, and it will be no bigger than 64 teams. And why do I say 64? Because of the symmetry. Because of the symmetry to avoid scenarios of having a best 3rd place team advancing. Whereas if you have a 64-team tournament, then the top 2 from each group advances to a round of 32 and then a round of 16, etc., etc. So that's why I'd say I don't think a World Cup will expand beyond a round of 60, a 64-team World Cup. But we'll see how everything works forward. But that's the situation the US and Mexico have withdrawn from their 2027 race. It is what it is, and whoever is decided on May 17, whether it is Brazil or whether it is Germany, Belgium, or the Netherlands, we just have to accept it. A World Cup back in UEFA, that will be interesting, just like what we had in 2019. Or if it's going to be a scenario where the World Cup comes to South America for the first time since 2014. 2015. But folks, let me know your thoughts. Looking forward to hear what you guys have to say. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary for more content.